Today we're talking about time again, only this time we're talking about time to the half hour. What time is it? Have you ever asked that question? And instead of somebody saying it's 1 o'clock, they've said other times. Well, today we're going to talk about time to the half hour. Do you remember that we talked about a clock and we said that it has 2 hands? Do you remember what they look like though? That's right, they were arrows. Do you remember that the hour hand is short and the minute hand is long? Have a look at these clocks. What is the same and what is different? I notice that both of the clocks are the same size, the same shape, have the same numbers, and they both have a minute hand and an hour hand. What's different? Carefully, can you see? Oh, can you see? The hands on the clock are different. They've changed position. Did you notice that the minute hand on the first clock is pointing to 12, the o'clock space, but on the second clock it's pointing to the 6? And if you looked really carefully, you might have seen that the hour hand on the first clock is pointing to the 1, but you see on the second clock, the hour hand has moved halfway between the 1 and the 2. Now when we look at these two clocks, I think you can tell me what's the time on the first clock. If the minute hand is pointing to the 12 and the hour hand is pointing to the 1, the time is 1 o'clock. But let's look at this second clock. The minute hand pointing to the 6 and the hour hand is halfway between the 1 and the 2. When we see this on a clock, we say that the time is 1:30. So what does 4 o'clock look like? Can you remember? Here's a clock. And if we were to build 4 o'clock with the hands, the minute hand would be pointing to the 12. You remember where the hour hand would go for 4 o'clock? That's right, pointing to the 4. What does 4:30 look like? Can you remember that the minute hand would be pointing down to the 6? It's 4:30, then the hour hand would be pointing halfway between 4 and 5. Here are 3 clocks. Have a look at them. See if you can figure out what time it is. The first clock shows the minute hand pointing to the 6, the hour hand halfway between the 8 and the 9. That is 8:30. The second clock, our minute hand is still pointing down to the 6. The hour hand is between the 2 and the 3, so it's 2:30. And on that third clock, well, that is showing 10:30. Well done. Let's try a couple more. What time is it now? Have a look at these clocks. Feel free to pause if you need to. See if you can tell what times are shown. Did you notice that on these clocks both the hands are the same colour? So you have to look really carefully to see which one is the hour hand, the short hand, and which one is the minute hand, the long hand. Let's have a look at this first clock. The minute hand is on the 6. The hour hand is halfway between the 5 and the 6. So this clock is showing 5:30. On the second clock, time is 6:30. And on the third clock, it's 12:30. The hour hand is halfway between the 12 and the 1. Great job. Okay, remember we did this before when we were telling time to the hour and finding out what would be the next hour. Well, this time, I want you to have a think, what time is it now on the clocks, and what time will it be in half an hour? This is trickier. Pause if you need to. Have a look. We'll have a look through the answers. Right, let's take a look at this first clock. What time is it now on the clock? Well, it's 3:30. Well done. On the second clock, well, that's 5:30. And on the third clock, it's 11:30. What time would it be in half an hour? On the first clock, it's 3:30 now. So in half an hour, the next time will be 4 o'clock. The minute hand will have moved up to the 12, and the hour hand would have shown to the 4. On that second one, the next time will be 6 o'clock. And in half an hour, from 11:30 on the third clock, it will be 12 o'clock. Well done.